Welcome back, everyone. This is Prophet of the Constitution, and today we're continuing our Master of Command playthrough for the Imperial Army. Alright, some new additions. We did get a new commander. He has been customized. He is now Grigory Grigorievich Orlov, a very renowned Russian commander, particularly known for cavalry command, which I found to be perfect, considering he's a cavalry officer. Look at that. And so he is now going to be running our cavalry. We also did a little bit of customization on the artillery. I need to get the proper, shall I say, Russian enunciations down for them. And I didn't have time to do that this last evening. So I will be updating their name most likely as well. And I am sure that Hans will be very helpful in that as well. I appreciate his tips immensely. We did transfer the name of the 1st Grenadiers to the actual unit of renown, the 1st Grenadiers. So now they held the proper name. And now what used to be the 1st Grenadiers is now the Ryazanski Grenadierski Polk. Or, in other words, the 3rd Grenadiers. Alright, we have plenty of items for artillery still. We did get the 1 battery of artillery last time, which I'm very grateful. We have some artillery now. Now, we are day 133 out of 150. We don't have a lot of time left. We do have 2 encamped armies. The headquarters is right here. It wouldn't be too bad to go back, get some more things, check out some settlements. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. I don't think we're going to get to do that. We do need to try to get more doctrines for our army, so I believe the play is taking on the encampment armies. We'll get items, experience, doctrines, and then we'll be ready for the headquarters battle for Act 2. I'm thinking I'm going to go after these guys first. Let's do this army first. Yeah, let's go after them. Alright. This time, we're not outnumbered by manpower, but we are outnumbered by regiments. Prinz von Preußen Musketeers, veteran Musketeers, they do have Jaegers, some land millets, recruits, Musketeers. They do have 4 units of cavalry that we've got to be mindful of. Horse artillery, field artillery, and yet more Musketeers. Alright. Depending on how we position ourselves and utilize our artillery and cavalry, preferably together, as Napoleon said, that artillery is greatest in defense of the cavalry who have no fire of their own. Now, obviously, he wasn't necessarily saying they don't have any guns, but generally, commanders employed the artillery for infantry support. He was saying oftentimes it's better to employ them in support of the cavalry. I tend to agree with him on that. So, we have this map with the river on the left side that we tend to anchor ourselves on and take these 2 hills. I believe we're going to do the same thing. Let me look at their cavalry. Alright, they aren't too great. They're not bad. That is dangerous. The Prussian Hussars are very dangerous. They have good stats in charge and melee. They've got Palash swords and Sul carbines. That is not good. And the Prussian Dragoons aren't bad either. Alright. Artillery. A 12-pound Lycorn and a 6-pound gun. Okay. Not too bad. It'd be real nice if we could take out these Jaegers before we had to deal with them. The Prinz von Preußen Musketeers are on our left flank. It's also good to know. I'm trying to see if any of them have like marksman rifles or anything. They do not, thankfully. Alright, yes, we are the ones with the Jaeger rifles. Thankfully, we have that advantage. So, because they have their elite units here on the left flank, I believe I'm going to put the skirmishers on the left flank, which is going to be excellent in my opinion. Let's see, put the recruits together just for a moment until we get organized. I want the cavalry on the far side. Grenadiers will be going behind the line somewhere. And then our veterans. Alright. Let's see. We have 3 grenadiers. 1 unit of grenadiers is going to go behind this river. And the skirmishers. Most assuredly. And I believe it's going to be the first. Alright. So skirmishers are going up to the river. I think I want the recruits to be next in line. And our veterans to be on the right flank. In which case, and the artillery, by the way, is going up on this hill. Alright. Grenadiers, let's see. Here we go. Yes, that looks good. And this also looks good. Alright. Fantastic, I think this will do. We'll get our cavalry moving over to the right flank first. They will move up. Get the skirmishers moved up front here. Moving the recruits across the line. Make sure the grenadiers go up with them. Artillery will move up to the front of this hill. And the veterans will be moving across the line to take positions over here. Alright. I have noticed several of you asking questions about strategies and effective use of cavalry and different kind of tips for the campaign and things like that. And I was curious. I may make a post about this or something. I am curious to see how many of you would be interested in my making a guide or maybe several guides or something like that for Master of Command, both campaign level, battles, all of those kinds of things. So I would not mind doing something like that. I would definitely be interested in that, and that would be fine with me. So just if any of you all are interested, go ahead and feel free to let me know. I might make a post on it too. I wouldn't mind making some guides. That'd be alright. I do have a big passion for this game. In any way that I can help folks improve their enjoyment of the game would be absolutely fantastic in my mind. So I don't mind doing that at all. Not even a little bit. Alright, set up the grenadiers there. Excellent. Alright, for the time being, they're content to stay. Oh, nope, here they are. They're coming. They are on their way. Undoubtedly. Alright. Form up. Excellent. I want my men to start spreading out somewhat, as we do not need to get absolutely pummeled by the enemy artillery. Not something I'm real excited about having done. Which is okay, that makes sense. It's not something we want to do. Now, I'm not keeping as many reserves with this battle, which is somewhat dangerous. But what I am going to do is do my best to wrap around their flank and just try to overwhelm them as quickly and effectively as I possibly can. That's kind of the operational goal at the moment. We'll see how that turns out. I do not want you firing at the skirmishers. Thank you very much. You're wasting your ammunition. It's not a wise thing there to fire on them. Alright, get the general set up. Start setting up our other lines of troops here. Alright, excellent. Looks like we are peeling off some of their units from the main line. It's not too big of a deal. That's alright. Only thing is, now I'm somewhat regretting not leaving a cavalry unit or two over here to hit their Jaegers that are now left in the open. That would be fantastic. However, we do have these grenadiers, and I'm thinking we're going to take that chance. We're going to go and advance the grenadiers to hit the Jaegers. We are definitely going to take that opportunity. Hopefully with minimal enemy fire coming in, but if that happens, it happens, and that's all there is to it. Alright. Excellent, excellent, and they're toast. Move on to the next ones, and then we got to retreat behind our lines quickly so we receive less volume of fire. Ouch. That volley did hurt somewhat. Those Jaegers are holding on, man. Alright, we got our skirmishers opening fire. That flank is somewhat weak, a little vulnerable. Their cavalry are preparing to come and meet ours, so we've got to definitely keep an eye on that. Their artillery is firing on the grenadiers as well. They do not like our grenadiers at all. Of course, I wouldn't be too pleased if enemy grenadiers moved up and took out my Jaegers either, so I can understand that. Not that it's going to do them a whole lot of good, but that's where we are. That's mostly recruits. I'm going to move the grenadiers over here. We do not need them over there right now. We do have musketeers coming up to reinforce their cavalry. This is dangerous. Definitely got to be mindful with how we utilize our cavalry at the moment. Alright. Excellent. Okay, so they are charging. So, this is one thing I will say in this video here. They're charging, and you can kind of tell by their facing which unit of cavalry they're charging. Right now, they are going after our horse grenadiers here, the Grenadierski. Now, what that does is a couple things. First of all, they can't stop their charge. They're very vulnerable to flanks and attacks from other units. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the Chugivsky Kazaki Kavalierski Polk. I was trying to figure out which one I had up here on the top. They're going to come up in here and screen and kind of protect in case, like for example, their hussars attempt to charge our unit here. I'm going to have this second cavalry unit come up here to the center and basically swing around and charge into the flank of the provincial cavalry. Meanwhile, I'm pulling my horse grenadiers back. Now, what you can do to really get an advantage is have them all charge once one unit hits them in the flank. Okay, let me select the proper units. Alright. So there we go again. Into the fray all together. Fantastic. Alright, so that was one example of how I do that. I could have had the unit that was getting charged meet them head on. And sometimes you'll win that way, sometimes not. But the problem is, even if you win that outcome, your cavalry will take massive losses. And as you can see, mine took some decent losses here already. So, definitely something to keep in mind. Not pleasant to have your cavalry get demolished. So, never a fun time doing that. Alright, the center for the enemy is collapsing. That's very, very good. These two can handle those Cantonist recruits. We're going to start moving up the flank. Wow. They are taking some serious damage. We're going to have to pull back, I think. Some degree. Maybe not entirely, but we're going to have to pull back a little. Because we are taking far too many casualties on this flank here. That left wing is not having a fun time of it. Alright, we're going to send the cavalry in. Overwhelm the musketeers. Excellent. Alright, they still have 3 units or 2 units of cavalry at least, so we've got to watch ourselves. And now they have artillery support. That's not great. Alright, we can definitely move these guys up. We are folding the enemy, their flank. However, they are rolling our flank at the moment as well. Hopefully their artillery does not have canister, and they do. That's not good. This unit of artillery here, the horse artillery, has excellent canister. That's really, really bad. Alright, so I'm not able to get these where they can help with our other units yet. We took some damage, my goodness. That Prussian cavalry is dangerous. That's not great. We are going to try to charge them in the rear, though. It does look like they outspeed us. That is not fun. They did have an advantage also with the artillery. So, our cavalry is routed. They did well, but they weren't able to reach the enemy guns, unfortunately. Oof. And they were shattered. That's really bad. Hopefully, though, replenishment of casualties will alleviate that to some degree. Alright, let's see. They have recruits there, musketeers there. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're sending in the grenadiers. It's come to it. Most definitely. All right. Doing the same thing there on that flank. All right, We do have to watch for their cavalry. Alright, charge is going well. And the funny thing is, it looks like they had the same idea to charge our light troops. And our charge happened to disrupt theirs. That's wonderful. Phenomenal even. Alright, we did get some of our cavalry back. They are going to stay over here somewhere. Alright, we're going to press the advantage. I know they're getting tired, but we are winning. I made a fatal mistake, actually. I turned off the guns so they wouldn't shoot their skirmishers. I didn't tell them to fire again. Our artillery has been inoperable for this battle. That was an unfortunate little mistake that I made. That is not usual for me, thankfully. However, from time to time, I suppose, everyone is very valid in being offered a mistake. Thankfully, it does not appear as if this mistake will cost us too greatly on the battlefield. This time, anyway. You're not going to have an option but to turn and fire. They're not braced, though. And receiving volleys from our men, that was almost a little trap we had set up for them, and that went very, very well. Excellent. We are running them off the field. Their cavalry has been routed. Alright. Not too bad, not too bad. Excellent. They're receiving fire. Hopefully the cavalry can... Oh, that's not good. Their dragoons have returned. That's very not good. And they're stuck charging the enemy artillery. Yikes, that's really bad. Hopefully they don't get shattered. Alright, this one was a little bit tougher victory for us. Grenadiers are now getting charged. Thankfully it is front facing. We did run off their infantry here on the right flank. Excellent. This is a bloodier battle. Most definitely. Alright. Very good. And we run off the enemy. Fantastic. I know my men are exhausted, but I don't really have an option but to have them keep going. These Prussians are resilient. They're almost acting Russian in their nature. They're moving up and continuing to rejoin the fight. Tenacious buggers. Yikes. Alright, we just have several units to run off now. Well, provided that they don't have units that return. We are pulling the Grenadiers back. All of them. I don't want to take more losses with them if I can help it. Alright. Excellent. Alright, those musketeers aren't going to hold on for very long. It's a good thing that most of our units get extra replenishment because we have taken some casualties in this battle. That was not my greatest battle ever, but we pulled out a victory. And my cavalry was outmatched, but for the most part, they managed to hang in there. Alright. Not fantastic, but it wasn't the worst thing ever either. Let's see the damage. 1433, that's pretty good. We need that money. Some awesome items. Wow, that's fantastic. Let us see. Enemy artillery, 321, 215. Their cavalry did a good number of damages. Infantry didn't do too hot. These musketeers got 197. 476 for those guys. And 581 for the Prinz von Preußen. Alright. Well, we are going to conscript because we lost 3847. And this will just be sure that the next few battles will replenish even further. Morale damage received, minus 20% unbreakable spirit. Listen, I don't even read out the others yet. I can see what they are now, but this was going to be the option from the start. How can you get more Russian than unbreakable spirit? Reduction of 20% to morale damage. So yeah, we're doing that. That wasn't even a choice. That wasn't even a hardship or anything. That's fantastic. Big fan of that. Alright, got some levels for our troops. Lots of experience to go around. Alright. Rumyantsev and Orlov have upgraded. Let's see what Orlov got. Let's get a cavalry trait, Orlov. Alright, fire damage received minus 10%, but you lose some stamina. That's actually not bad, because fire damage received would help to reduce on our cavalry. Morale damage goes down, but officer death chance goes up. Morale damage not going down is very, very good for our cavalry, so they stay in the fight. I don't like their stamina going down, but I can manage that. I think I'm going to do the fire damage, so they receive less also from enemy carbines, which has been a problem for them so far. Alright, let's see what our grenadiers are going to get. More morale damage, possibly. That's hilarious. Melee, but reduction of reload speed, or melee damage for accuracy. Alright, we're going to do melee damage. We're going to make them fierce. That sounds excellent to me. Alright, let's see. Well, we can't do the skirmishers yet, so we're not doing grenadiers, so they'll have to wait. It looks like the Butyrski can become converged musketeers. I'm very pleased about that. Alright, so we have some extra items here. Let's see. You can use this excellent item. We've got coffee there. Let's adjust some of this stuff here based on items we want to use at the very moment and items that we don't care as much about. Alright, let's see. Bayonets for our grenadiers. What are we looking at? Alright, not too bad. 8 and 10. Alright. Excellent. Line unit can use that. Alright. Alright, not bad. You can get better axes. Everyone else has axes, so that's okay. Tompions. Who needs tompions? Got you with a pick. I like you with the pick better. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Let's see. They've got excellent already. Alright. That's a sellable item. We can keep the coffee in the event we need that. Let's see. Do they all have excellent footwear? They do, but we can get one more grenadier, so we're going to save that for them. And horses. We have excellent already. Okay, fantastic. Going to do some replenishment. We have plenty of reserves left because all of our guys having herbs pretty much. In addition to merit war. Is phenomenal. And I'm very pleased. None of our cavalry died. Was lost. Thankfully. Even though we suffered one of them shattering. Alright. So we're going to head on up towards this other army over here now. Wouldn't be too upset if there was a little something to acquire over here. Doesn't look like it. That's fine. We are kind of backtracking anyway, so that's alright. Alright, let's see what they got. We do outnumber them. They have 3. Ooh. Le Noble Jäger. Alright. Fantastic. Veterans, some grenadiers, more musketeers. They only have 2 units of cavalry this time. We do have the cavalry advantage. We do not have the artillery advantage. And this time, I will actually have my artillery firing. Oh, can't believe I did that. Alright. That was a rare faux pas for me. Let's keep that rare, shall we? I get the artillery I've been wanting the entire campaign. In the first battle that I get to use them, they are ordered to hold fire. Probably wondering the entire time why that is. That's pretty hilarious, actually. Alright. Yes. Very, very, very good battlefield. I like this. We have a river. We have some woods. We have it split, so we can kind of face parts of their army separately. So let's do that. Organize them. We don't want bayonets on these guys. Fantastic. These guys will be over here for the moment. Cavalry. Excellent. I don't believe I'm going to put the cavalry on the wing this time. Much to everyone's surprise, probably. The main reason is they have so many Jaegers. If I have the opportunity, just like we did previously, to rush the cavalry up, take out the Jaegers, and then pull back, we're going to do that. Let's see what kind of armament they have. Alright. Bronze cannons. Okay. 1 iron cannon. Alrighty. Nothing too crazy. They do have some excellent weapons. Those Freikorps are dangerous. Both of them. Alright. We have to watch their cavalry. They don't have as many units of cavalry as we do, but that doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot here at the moment. Okay. Set them up here. Do likewise. And likewise. Set them up here. And I'm going to give them recruits and skirmishers. We're going to be keeping some recruits in reserve here. We'll put some grenadiers on this side. And then we'll have some grenadiers here as well. Alright. Let's see what we can do here. So the artillery, I'm going to have them go down the road. They are going to end up on that little hill there. Excellent. keeping the grenadiers with the skirmishers in the event that their cavalry decides they want to be funny. We want to put a stop to any funny business as soon as we possibly can. Spread our troops out here somewhat. Let's do this. We're going to double up on the line. We're going to run the skirmishers in front of the main line. That tends to work very, very well. I do like such a strategy. I don't really like them overlapping, though, with the main line. Alright, that works out. That actually works out pretty good. And then we can still have the grenadiers set up behind. I like that design a lot better. Alright. Let's see what we got going on here. That's a fantastic spot for the infantry. Make sure the artillery gets up on this hill now. Alright, fantastic. I may only have a slight opportunity to get the cavalry up there to take out the light troops. Only a slight opportunity. I want to try it if I can. Alright, we're going in. We are receiving fire. Got to pull back the cavalry as soon as they've done their job. Receiving a volley. Thankfully, we're coming out of the woods there. Alright, they broke. Time to leave. I don't know why they got caught up on against those Jaegers. That's not what I wanted. Alright. Now they managed to cross right here. That's alright. We are forming up. We're going to have the Grenadiers aid with that. Alright, fantastic. Things are going pretty well so far. Trying not to get shot again, however, if we can help it. Okay, come on, guys. Alright. Excellent. The cavalry has done their job very well. Time to go. Fantastic. They have multiple grenadiers over there on that flank, so I'm going to move mine up over here as well. Move the surf recruits up some, make them more effective as reserves. We do have to keep an eye on their cavalry, however. Though we're likely to begin shifting our cavalry to the flank. Alright, preparing. The recruits are coming up against us. We have musketeers on the right flank trying to attack us. I want them probably to shoot at the enemy cavalry. Yes. Take on their grenadiers here. Excellent. Charge the grenadiers in the flank. That's phenomenal. Alright, they are crossing the river now, in earnest. Alrighty. Our grenadiers have met theirs in battle. Firing going all across the line. Fantastic. Their grenadiers are holding on pretty good. Those Freikorps grenadiers aren't playing around. We just got to keep it going because they're under attack by enemy musketeers. Have them cross the river together. We're going to pull them back right immediately afterwards. Alright, we need our cavalry to come up and watch the flank here. That's where their cavalry's going. Alright, fantastic. Time to pull the grenadiers back. They've done some excellent work. Alright, looks like the cavalry clash in the right flank is just about to happen. Sending our other grenadiers forward. Excellent. We're repulsing them from the riverside here. Now 3 of our cav should be able to take out one of theirs, hopefully. Looks like they're going to meet in the middle, even though neither one of them was the target of the other. That's hilarious. That's excellent. Alright. And we basically immediately shattered them. I like that a lot. Ooh, their artillery's targeting our grenadiers. They're not a big fan, apparently. Alright, as you can see, I'm pulling the cavalry back. Now we're all charging them together. Excellent. I'm going to overrun these recruits here. And we're going to move this part of the line up. I was moving them up to kind of flank, but now the enemy's units are returning to the battlefield. They've found their fighting spirit again, so we're going to move them back yet again. Alright, moving up with the cavalry. Very, very good. And this is going to be excellent because our cavalry is going to get a side charge on theirs trying to fight our grenadiers, which is not an engagement that they want anyway, really. And let the cavalry sweep behind their line. Ooh, I hope they don't get that shot off. Ooh, that was bad. That was painful. That artillery volley was beyond bad for us. Wow, that was damaging. And the cavalry is coming up behind their lines. Isn't that phenomenal? And victory. All right. Not too bad. The grenadiers and the cavalry took the brunt of the damage. We did have our guns firing this time. All right. 1149. Not too bad. Ooh, man, that's some good gear. Look at that. All right, let's see. This artillery got 312. I'm guessing that's the one that canistered our cavalry. See me. All right. 318 for the Freikorps Grenadiers, 258 for the other Freikorps Grenadiers. All right. Our line units did fairly well. Skirmishers did well. Recruits were pretty much kept in reserve. Artillery got 389. That's not terrible. Grenadiers, though, man, they put in work, as did the cavalry. All right. We do have plenty of reservists, so we have enough food for now. So we're going to do tollers and ammo. All right. Command radius, move speed, or reveals all settlements in each region. All right. Now, normally I do the move speed, and normally I wouldn't take local guides late into the game. But because we're Russia, and we can raid, and we also need a little more artillery, I'm going to do local guides, because that will show us where the other settlements are for Act 3. So hopefully we can visit and burn every single one to the ground. Alright, local guides it is. It's such a good thing seeing the casualties replenished. That's just phenomenal. Alright, for more. Let's see. What are you going to get, my friend? What are you going to get? Flanking damage gained, flanking damage received is reduced, morale damage dealt is improved. I like that a lot, actually. We're going to do morale damage dealt. It'll break the enemy even faster than they already are. Alright, 12 and 12. 10 and 6. Alright, we're going to do that. That's going to be phenomenal. Let's see. Alright, not too bad. Alright, that'll do. That'll work. We will keep this axe for any other unit that we get in that regard. From another grenadier, because I'm expecting to get possibly another grenadier. So I'm going to hold on to some of that. 8 speed, 6 stamina, that's just 8 speed. Yeah, we're going to get rid of these boots, and after all. Alright. Fantastic. I don't think our other units are ready to upgrade yet. Oh, I am incorrect. We can make them converged. Belozerski, Musketyorski, Pehokny Polk. I'm not sure why. It must be all the stuff in the air right now. I apologize for my pronunciation being even worse than usual. For some reason, I'm fighting something off again. I couldn't tell you why that is this season. It seems to be just a little bit worse than others. We'll be alright. Okay, let's see. Settlements. Most of them are gone. Okay. We did visit most of them there in the west. There's several we didn't get to. Now, the enemy headquarters are going to chase us. I am contemplating potentially rushing over here to try to see if they have artillery and to sell a bunch of crap before things aren't very sellable in the third act. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to do forced march as quickly as possible. We don't need to do that now so much, I don't think. Alright. Wow. We did make it there in time. That's good news. Foundry. Let's see. Ah. Liechtenstein. We're going to take the Liechtenstein. That's definitely a thing. We are doing that. All right, let's see. Try to sell as much of this as we possibly can without totally disorganizing ourselves here. Yeah, I thought that I did that with one of these. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright, we're going to adjust what we're doing here somewhat. Let's see, how are your entrenching tools? Not the greatest, okay. You need entrenching tools, so we're not going to sell entrenching tools at the moment because we do have need of them. Alright. More effectively sell things now. Fantastic. Alright. And unfortunately, they don't have enough money. Alright. That's okay. We did get more artillery. I'm super pleased about that. Ooh. I might want those carbines. We need carbines for our cavalry anyway. We really do. Buy some bayonets probably. Let me wait on the bayonets. Let me get those carbines though. Gunsmith, you can have those. Town square. Ah, excellent herbs. We're buying those. Iron ramrods that are excellent. Let's see, ramrods. They have excellence. Okay, that's not too bad. Alright, Staff College. Oh my. Wow, this looks very good. Yeah, we're doing the marksman. I believe we could use extra bagpipers. Yes, we can. Surgeon, excellent. Yeah, we're doing that. Accuracy and cover. Ah. Cover and range. That's a good one. Alright, let's outfit what we've got here first. We are going to need a new brigade as well. I should totally set that up. Yeah. Artillery brigade. Look at that. What do you know? Alright, let's see. We have carbines now for you. Need to improve the accuracy for some of our units here. It's not as good as it could be. It's excellent, excellent, excellent. Those are just basic though, so that's good. Put that there. Bagpipers, definitely good. Fire damage received and accuracy, okay. We can do that. Not bad at all. Alright, that looks pretty good. Don't worry, we're not burning through money too quick or nothing. Fire damage received and accuracy, I like that. Let's see. Those are both excellent. That's good. That's a pretty good one, though. Perhaps we can take off the ammo cartridges for now, since we've got our ammo situation under control now. That would allow us to improve the overall capabilities of the men. Alright, now we need another artillery unit, so let's see. I believe they're going to be Russian battalion of artillery. Fantastic. What do you know? We have a gun for them. This crap needs to go, though. Alright. That's excellent. I'm so glad that we saved up on these items. I know it seemed like, oh look, the items are sitting there, we're not doing anything with them. What a problem. Not really. Not really that big of an issue, to be honest. We kept a Folard treatise. Let's see, do we... I mean, we could throw it on one of these guys. Potsdams. Do we need Potsdams anywhere? Alright, well, they don't have any muskets to speak of, so we're going to give that to them. That'll work for them. Alright. That's not terribly bad. Now I feel like we're way better equipped. Let's see here, though. It'd be nice if we could get more skirmishers. But these recruits aren't going to become skirmishers. And these guys are already set. They're basically going to be our next grenadiers, because we need grenadiers. We don't need more musketeers. So they're grenadiers. I can make one of these guys cavalry. I could do that. I just don't have anything for them. I think we'll set that up. I think we're going to make them be cavalry. Alright, fantastic. So, we need skirmishers. And we need more artillery. So I guess we're doing that also. We don't have a gun for them yet, though, which is unfortunate. But we can still improve their combat capabilities, actually, believe it or not. Somewhat. Not to an extreme degree or anything. And it won't make up too much for them having a crap gun. But it does set us up a little bit early to do that. Okay. Not too shabby. Check out our gun picks, shall we? We have excellence on all of them. Excellent. They don't have gun picks. I want them to have gun picks. I want them to fire a little bit faster. I really do. Worn bayonets, don't care about that. Ramrods, well, maybe I take that back. Maybe they need something like that. These boys, they don't even have bayonets. So I guess we'll do that for the time being, since they don't have any equipment to speak of, really. Alright, they all have entrenching tools. I don't know what I'm doing, though. These guys are going to become grenadiers. So let me... Here we are. That means they don't need Potsdams. They'd rather have these Tulas. That's pretty good. They can still use the meds. Alright. Not too crazy. And that looks good. Let's see, we need one more coffee is all. We have the herbs on our mainline troops, so we don't need that. Replace the bad coffee there. Alright. Not too bad. Keep these ammo boxes, I suppose, because I didn't realize they were still basic here on these troops. Fantastic. And we'll keep this. No, I suppose not. Not the basic ones. We will hold on to those for now. No, I take it back. We won't. We're going to have only excellent items coming up, and I want to sell as much as we can before we get into Act 3, because Act 3, you can't sell worth crap. You don't really get anything of value. Alright, that's awesome. Now we're going to do one last thing. I'm going to check for an officer for our artillery. Hopefully, we have a good choice here. Command radius, charge, reload and move speed. I'm liking that. I do like reload and move speed. Nah. Alright, this is the guy. Fantastic. So now we have an officer for each brigade. We have all the brigades filled out. We don't have all the ranks filled out just yet. I believe we'll get to, let's see the barracks. We might, normally I don't fill in with that, but we might, nah. I really wanted more light troops, if I can help it, because it's easier to get line troops and such. Alright. Well, I think this looks good. Now let's see. We're going to see if we can burn this place to the ground before the headquarters reaches us. Either that or we head over here to see if they have artillery. And an encampment. We can't afford artillery anyway, so let's do it. We're going to raid. And enemy headquarters. Enemy headquarters in pursuit. General, our scouts report the enemy headquarters has mustered its full army and is marching to engage us. Columns move on the made road with advanced guards out. Expect contact within days. We cannot outrun them. We must face them. Alright, as you work. Pillage and loot and burn. Good work, men. Lots of items. Alright. So, yeah, they're down there. We're going to force march over here. Wonder if we should get the convoy. I think we should. Let's see what it's got. $84. Or 2% desertion. And civilian items. But we can't spend 3 days or we'll get stuck there, so we'll try it. Thankfully, we did not have our men decide to leave us. An enemy army is running away from us. Let's see what they've got. Foundry. We do have a broomer, which we're going to be buying. Let me see if one of our units doesn't have a Bible yet, because any fire damage reduction is absolutely necessary. Okay. Confirmed. Alright. Gunsmith. We Could get several more carbines. That would help immensely. Water buckets, excellent. We could use excellent water buckets. We really could. Let's see. Commissar. Treatise holiday. That's not fun to miss out on. Well, let's get the big gun on here. I may decide to sell this stuff because going into Act 3, I don't really need to keep it per se. Hoping to get more events to use it, but we did not. Which is a-okay. It's not that big of a deal, but just somewhat disappointing. I believe we want Holiday Treatise. Let's see, what else can we get? Ah, yes, and the carbines. We have 471 left after that. That's 566. Doing the Holiday Treatise. We might be able to get one. Well, really want the water buckets. Because that gives us water buckets. Yeah, those are gun tools just like those. We can sell this. I really like to have the reload for our troops. Lacking in reload is not fun. And what I'll do for now is I'm going to get 2 of these cheap carbines. Since they're real cheap right now, just so they have some. And then in the next act, when we have more money, we are going to be improving their situation even further. Normally I don't buy an item unless it's excellent, but we need carbines on there. If people didn't realize, you'll also see that your charge and melee is affected by your carbines as well, not to mention shooting before the battle's joined. Alright. So, I'm going to call it here. We are now much more outfitted. Get a little bit more customization to do. But we are outfitted. We are basically ready for Act 3 for the most part. Could use a couple more units. We're going to chase down this army and destroy them and potentially get that encampment. And then the headquarters army will be upon us. So thank you all for joining me. This has been Prophet of the Constitution. God bless.